It is an end of the era, ladies and gentlemen. WWE Monday Night Raw is no longer be on cable TV, it seems. So I didn't do my Raw review yet. We're gonna upload or make a Raw review after this video, but I'm gonna upload this first because this is really the big topic to talk about. So Monday Night Raw, after 30 plus years, well, last year was the 30th anniversary. Now it's it's been 31 years. Last year around this time they would celebrate their 30th anniversary. Now, unfortunately, WWE Monday Night Raw, I don't even know if it's going to still be on Mondays, honestly, will be now moving to Netflix. Yes, Netflix, the streaming site, one of the most popular streaming sites out there that basically was like one of the original streaming sites ever existed before like sites like Disney Plus, Peacock, and shit like that. It was one of the most popular. And I'm not a fan of this idea at all. I'm not. So I know some people who get it, they don't have cable or whatever. Some people are happy, which, okay, sure. I have Netflix myself and I have cable, okay? But there's a lot of problems for WWE Monday Night Raw now officially being on a streaming site, okay? Some people believe that a lot of people nowadays have streaming sites, when in reality, that's far from the belief. That is far from the belief, and that's not true. People still have cable. If anything, people have have cable more than they did back in 1999. That's a statistic proven truth. Maybe like since then it has a bit declined because of how inflation is now, whatever. But the reality is, people still have cable. People have cable more than before, and if anything, people have antennas more than before. So I don't get that. Why would WWE Monday Night Raw would rather pick having that show on Netflix rather than NXT? And NXT is on still cable TV. If anything, it's now going to probably have more ratings than Monday Night Raw, which is fucking crazy. So first of all, I am not a big fan of the idea of Monday Night Raw, or let's say a television show that has been on TV, cable TV, for a long time, now moving specifically for a streaming site. I'm not a fan of that. It goes to show that a show has gotten that bad where it's not worth people's time to watch. They'd rather be lazy to put it on a streaming site just so it could get some content. And they're just basically producing content. That's what it is. I understand why they did this. I understand why. I get it. Money. I absolutely get it. I get it. It's because of fucking money. But that goes to show that because WWE has gotten that bad, they're going to rely on any chance they get. And Netflix, the reason why obviously Netflix is interested in WWE is because they need content. And you want to know why that's the problem? Is because, first of all, and this is what's going to be the problem with now WWE Monday Night Raw is going to be on Netflix. One, Netflix has been losing subscribers. Okay? They've been losing subscribers. That is one of the big problems, big reason why it's also like not really smart to keep WWE on Netflix, and I'm kind of fearful, and not just fearful, I just think this is sad and kind of pathetic. A television show that's been around for 30 plus years, or just fucking a show that's been along for a long time on cable TV. It just is sad. I'm sorry, it's sad. A show that's been that's like fucking Saturday Night Live moving to fucking moving to freaking like a streaming site specifically. It's sad. I'm sorry. Even though I'm not a fan of Saturday Night Live. It's like, again, it's a long. WWE Monday Night Raw has been the longest. You're talking about episodic television? Come on, it's the key, television. I understand streaming TV is the big thing now, but still, you have to understand, not everyone has streaming TV, or not just that. Not everybody is gonna waste their time just like specifically buy a subscription for multiple streaming sites. This is also a problem with conflict of interest. First of all, they have Peacock. They stream their pay-per-views on Peacock. Now you have a show that's not on Peacock, going to be on another streaming site where they're rivaling each other. Won't that be an issue of conflict of interest? How does that make any fucking sense? So that means there's going to be some issues with Peacock and Netflix over this. Not that I really gonna care now, because now it's not gonna be on cable TV. And I get that, and also this is gonna be a fucking problem now that they're gonna use now. Smarks are gonna see they do now. They're not gonna complain about ratings anymore or whatever. You have no. Well, here's the thing. You still can have You're still gonna have important ratings. Gonna still be counted while you're gonna be on a streaming site. It's just that they're not gonna have to worry so much about cable television viewers, because with cable. Obviously, cable TV, if your show is doing good, they'll keep you on cable. With Netflix, it doesn't really matter much because you're not going to worry about having to keep a certain show on a certain day and time, because then with cable TV, then you're going to want to take down that show and move on to have another show instead that could produce maybe the better ratings than that. That's why cable TV is competitive. That's the beauty of what Dirty Raw don't need to worry about really. Is that they don't need to worry about getting kicked off of a fucking stream of a show of a channel. That's the thing. So that's their advantage of Netflix. But the thing is, that's sad, pathetic, and it goes to show that WWE Monday Night Raw or WWE in general has gotten lazy, or they don't care. For you people that say that freaking Vince McMahon is a bad creative guy, but think Triple H is good creative. First of all, the creative has not been better. Okay. WWE's been catering more so to indie Smarky fans. And now, Smark's going to get joined. So this is only going to be good for Smarky wrestling fans. Because they're internet wrestling fans, they only care, they're people that live in the internet, and that live like for the internet, by the internet. And not just that, they're going to, they like fucking weird shit, okay? Smarky wrestling fans, they're fans of great matches, right? Even though these are pseudo great matches that no one will remember the next week or the next day. I don't even remember what kind of matches that happened on Raw recently. Now, WWE Monday Night Raw, rather than focus on characters and storylines, they don't need to worry about that. They're just going to fucking cater to smarky wrestling fans, and you're going to get all the longer matches you want. They're going to have all these matches with no stories, no characters. It's going to be pure gayness, fucking homoerotic garbage. It's going to be fucking literally longer matches with no stories and characters. It's going to be pure wrestling, which, how does that draw any viewership or ratings? But that's the advantage. They don't need to worry about ratings and whatever. They could do all the long matches they want. They don't need to have stories and characters anymore. That's the fucking problem now. That means Monday Night Raw won't necessarily be the same. I'm not saying it's going to completely not going to have characters and stories, but it's going to be more or less than it has been for the past like 10 years. Basically for the 10 years that WWE has sucked for the longest time it has. Which has been basically since when, not just when it turned PG, but when they kind of stopped becoming a wrestling show where they focus on characters and stories and started catering to the smarky wrestling fans where they want to give them great matches and showcase indie fucking wrestlers who have no star power and who are boring fucks. So that's the problem. That's the problem now. We're gonna have to deal with that. So that means that Monday Night Raw won't necessarily be episodic television. It won't. It's not gonna. They're not. So we're not gonna be enjoying Monday Night Raw as we used to. Not that I haven't really enjoyed Raw. Not that I haven't enjoyed Raw for like how long it has sucked. For like, if you think what I mean by has sucked. I'm not saying there hasn't been certain good episodes of Raw or whatever throughout the years. It just, in terms of when I said Raw has sucked, it's like for the overall year. And let's be honest, Monday Night Raw hasn't been consistently good ever since when they kind of have turned PG, in the PG era, when they started to fucking be less of an episodic television. Or not just that, it's also really kind of like also towards like when they started showcasing boring wrestlers and showcasing that what Smarks proclaim as the great wrestlers in sliced fucking bread, but reality, they're not entertaining. And they're only liked by Smarks. And given that now WWE Monday Night Raw will now be just a specific internet wrestling show, what's the point of really gonna cater to the casual viewer? And that's also gonna be a problem. This is an excuse that they don't need to cater to casuals anymore. That's their excuse now. They don't need to worry about ratings or whatever or get any more viewership. This is gonna be their excuse. That means they're gonna have a harder chance, and that's the thing. They're gonna have a harder chance to cater casual viewers. Because let's be honest here. What casual viewer is gonna really fucking watch Monday Night Raw when it has a reputation that it's not really like entertaining? Let's be honest here. Come on, that's the fucking problem. But yeah, again, as a person who has watched wrestling for like this remind me of like Power Rangers. Like I hate to sound kind of weird and shit with this shit. You know, but I'm a mask and fucking Ratman and shit. You know, who doesn't love fucking tough fight guy Power Rangers? You know, this reminds. First of all, that's isn't that funny? Power Rangers sucked for how many years now? Basically around the same time as WWE, and it has moved to Netflix. This reminds me of that, and WWE, yeah, two of my favorite things, right? And they both moved to Netflix because they sucked on TV for a couple of years. Isn't that sad? And like Power Rangers, which I haven't made a video yet, Power Rangers basically kind of ended, and they're gonna have like a reboot thing. I don't know, whatever. This is also now a problem where most likely, if WWE's Raw is not gonna get to be good for like even the next couple of years, like with their contract, this is also allows the chance that can even kind of get canceled too. So they have nowhere to. So I know I said that they don't need to worry about ratings much, but here's the thing. Like, but what I mean, they don't need to worry about ratings for this time. They won't even really need to because they just have to freaking cater to a certain amount of people. But if they don't really do as much as better, or like, the reality is, what I'm trying to say is, they still have to kind of worry about ratings to a point, but they won't have to worry about like they have to cater so many millions of people. Like, isn't that's gonna be sad because you're gonna always fucking watch, I guess, certain time. But the reality is, there's not gonna be fucking like you can get way more shit on a streaming site to like where they don't need to worry about ratings as much, but they still need to worry like if let's say if it gets like very low ratings in terms of let's say like hundreds of thousands instead of like at least 1 million. Then that's gonna be a little bit of a problem because Netflix shows has gotten canceled for that. Okay, but also they have to kind of worry that they could get canceled anytime. So that's something you gotta worry about too. Just saying. I don't know what contract they have, but that's also the idea that they can still get canceled, and then they'll have to find another streaming site or be lucky that if any cable site is gonna bring them. You have to understand that's also kind of a demotion. That's my problem. It's a demotion, if anything. You're demoting yourself to cable TV, from cable TV to a streaming site. That's because you're fucking terrible. Your show is terrible. Oh, but why would it be terrible if streaming sites want them? Again, it's all about content, ladies and gentlemen. It's content. And the beauty of WWE, because it's a brand, like, listen, of course I hate, that's the problem with WWE. Again, their shows suck, but they are still known as a brand. We live in a time where still people think that there's still people who are casual viewers. WWE fools people to think, or they kind of fool the people who are buying their product, right? Like, for example, they fool their cable, their what networks, like for example the CW and the USA Network that they advertise people like, see, our shows were able to showcase Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, The Undertaker. How do you think Fox promoted fucking SmackDown when it debuted? They promoted like guys like Stone Cold, The Rock, The Undertaker was gonna be on SmackDown, and look what happened. They were not there. They showcased the fucking modern, boring jobbers that were already fucking there on the show. But seriously, that's the beauty of like one WWE advertising. They advertise a brand where they showcase like guys that get it. Our show, we had Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, The Undertaker. We showcase these great wrestlers who entertain millions of people. But then, guess what? When they fucking on the channel, once they debut on the channel, you wonder why the ratings are shit and why people don't watch after the first episode or whatever. Is because freaking like they're fooled to think that this show is going to get that much of viewers. They're going to promise them viewership or whatever. Like, that's what they promised with Fox, right? They promised them fucking good viewership. We're going to get all these fucking wrestlers with star power to be on the show. And look what happened. Fox dropped them because they were losing money. What does that fucking tell you? Sure, WWE's making money as a business, but they're not. But at the same time, their ratings have to matter where it's going to bite them in the fucking butt. Because, again, if their ratings are shit, it's going to affect their business side. They're lucky they're still doing business because they easily can fool a brand, a television deal, to get a fucking, again, like they kind of fooled Netflix if you think about it. They fooled Peacock. They fooled Fox at a time, but now Fox regretted doing business with them, and that's why they're no longer be on Fox in 2024, in the end of 2024. They've been on Monday Night Raw for 30 fucking years, and they've been fucking sucking for a long time. Now USA Network is tired of them because they're tired of the shit ratings and tired of how bad the show is. And the only reason why they fucking now have SmackDown on USA Network, because they kind of fooled them. And let's be honest, there's still people who, like, you have to understand, like, USA, not everyone in the USA Network, like, know wrestling and shit like that. They're, like, executives about their channel. They care about the channel. But they're fooled because, they get better ratings on Fox's channel. They want that on fucking their channel. And let's be honest, WWE still kind of treated, like, SmackDown a bit better because it was on Fox. Now, watching a few years, SmackDown will get dropped by Fox or the USA Network, and now we're gonna probably have every fucking show on streaming sites, unfortunately. It's what's gonna fucking happen, sadly. It's sad. It's such a demotion, like, especially sad as a person who watched cable TV. It's kind of, sure, I understand that, you know, cable TV, people say cable TV is dying and whatever. I understand that, but you have to understand that people still have cable, and why not show love to cable TV? That way, fucking maybe cable TV will thrive. And maybe cable TV will still... But again, people don't understand that people have more cable than he did before. They had it more than 1999 when people were having fucking cable. That was the time to watch cable TV. So that argument is kind of BS. People have cable more than they did back in 1999. So that's a bunch of BS. It just goes to show that your show's a shit. That's why people are not watching your show. And if that's the case also that cable TV's dying, why are people watching sports and it gets so many fucking viewership? That's just, again, people care about sports, but because it's entertaining, then WWE. If you're a good entertaining TV show, you'll get the ratings. Why does, again, for example, Law & Order SVU has been on for 25 years and is still on primetime cable TV. What does that tell you? Because, you wanna know why? Because they're entertaining. Because, again, Law & Order SVU, despite kind of being the same shit, you care about the characters. It's still on cable TV and has better ratings than Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown combined! Combined! Come on here! And Law & Order airs the same shows on the same channel! But yeah, I get it. Their new episodes film on NBC, and then they move it for reruns for USA Network. But again, I guarantee you they have better ratings for the reruns than Monday Night Raw. Why? Because it's entertaining. Who the fuck doesn't love fucking Olivia Benson, who's a fucking MILF as hell, and looks more attractive than these unattractive fucking cunts in WWE women, these women who look like She-Hulks and shit like that, or fucking Miss Rollins, even though I think she's not on the channel anymore, fucking, what's her name, Amanda Rollins? Beautiful woman, beautiful ladies, and who the fuck doesn't like badasses like Elliot Stabler and Ice-T, for fuck's sakes? Come on here! But seriously, that just, man, but yeah, this is a problem. It's such a demotion. It's also sad as a person who's been a cable watcher who watched wrestling for so many years, and especially for cable TV, that it's just such a demotion because of how bad your show has gotten. And you're fooled, Netflix, to think you're gonna get all this entertaining content and watch. It's gonna be less interesting than it has been on the USA Network. Everything we kind of love, even if you're a fan of somewhat modern wrestling, it's not gonna even be the same as it is gonna be now. It's gonna be even more worse. It's going to be more worse. There's going to be more of the same shit, not even more. It's going to be more. It's going to be more boring matches that people think is great for God knows what. No stories and characters. It's not going to be as entertaining. It's just not. It's not going to be the same. The glory days of Monday Night Raw will sadly soon be gone. It's not going to be as entertaining. You can kiss all the fucking... They're not going to need to worry about bringing some part-timers anymore, which I understand that's what people would rather see. Like, because, you know... It's hogging the spot. But even though they're entertaining more than these people, but like, God forbid, to bring, make people kind of care about a little bit of nostalgia or at least some entertainment. We won't even need to see a Stone Cold anymore, sadly, but whatever. That's what they're gonna do. Honestly, because now Raw is gonna be on Netflix, it might even affect your pay-per-views, how you build through pay-per-views. You see, having your shows on cable TV promotes your pay-per-views. But now, who the fuck's gonna know or care about your pay-per-views? Let's be honest here. But yeah, this is really risky. Like, why are you doing this with a show that you had for 30 plus years? Why isn't Raw in the CW at least? And fucking, or like, why isn't SmackDown the CW and Monday Night Raw still on the USA Network? Why are you fucking switching it up for bullshit? Why is, like, again, Monday Night Raw, 30 years on the USA Network. Sure, they fucking moved on to Spike for a few years. I get it. But, like, for fuck's sakes, it's been its main home. It was like, they regret moving off the USA Network for fuck's sakes. I mean, kinda. Let's be honest, who's gonna fucking care about the USA Network now? It's been a fucking staple for USA Network. Now you kinda lose an interest for why would people care about the USA Network somewhat. But seriously, so you're moving fucking the show that people know. People know Monday Night Raw still more than fucking Friday Night SmackDown and whatever. Or just in general, because it's been around for 30 plus years. Now you're moving that show to a streaming site where most likely not a lot of people are going to fucking, especially with the fucking, yeah, this is a bunch of reasons why this is a problem with Netflix being the home for Monday Night Raw. I don't get to it. But again, it's such a demotion. It takes away the beauty of cable TV, or at least some. You're gonna have more people watching it, honestly, than wasting their time going on Netflix. Because again, people don't really care. Like, not a lot of people, as people think, have Netflix or care. Especially, like, this is kind of why Netflix needs more content. That's kind of why. But the reality is, people are unsubscribing from Netflix. Because why? Because of the increase in prices. Yes, this is the problem now. Netflix used to be like $8.99. Back in the day. Or back in like at least 10 years ago. Now it's fucking $22.99. Around that. So it's becoming more of a price just like cable, really. So why would, especially when people now have Disney Plus, Hulu, whatever. Who the fuck's gonna get an extra money on Netflix? But Netflix, let's be honest here, has not really having entertaining content. Netflix honestly is lame now. It's not even as... Netflix really isn't a good fucking streaming site as it used to be, honestly. It really isn't. Because, honestly, the shows they have now are shit or no one really cares. The only show I really kind of care about that I'll watch on Netflix is Cobra Kai. And Cobra Kai hasn't even been on... And Cobra Kai is ending, first of all. And second, Cobra Kai, like... I don't know, it just has... Yeah, it hasn't been on for... It's going to be ending anyways. But it's only, like, around for, like, what? For now? Almost 7 seasons? But seriously, like, that's like the only show I'll watch that's available on Netflix. You don't really have any good shows to really want to rerun to, really. All the good fucking shows that were on there are no longer there. That's also the problem. And what's gonna happen with your library? Like, really, like, now you're gonna produce content for your library on Netflix. That's gonna lead to some conflict of interest of reruns and shit like that, right? But seriously, this is a problem. Also, like, another thing, conflict of interest. You're on Peacock for your pay-per-views. That's going to lead an issue. You're in competition with Peacock now. What kind of sense does that make? I understand this is no different than USA Network versus Fox, but that's on you, WWE. I don't know. Again, that's WWE's fault. If you want to make people happy, you're supposed to. Again, this is different. It's different now because again, you're doing pay-per-views on Peacock, which is different. Again, it's Peacock. It's pay-per-views versus a regular TV show. The beauty of what they should have done with WWE is they should have literally fucking, if they wanted to make Fox happy, using that happy, it's simple. Should have had, this brand split did not work. Fuck this brand split. People should have been on both shows. There should have been one world champion. Ray should have been on both shows. And you should have, again, why can't you make entertaining television? Why can't you be like how you were back in the day when wrestling was good? I don't know what to tell you. And now, last but not least, so yeah, I already talked conflict interest. The inflation prices. Okay, this is again the problem with this fucking inflation. Made people don't want to have streaming sites anymore, and it's also so much competition now with streaming sites. Who the fuck's really gonna waste your time with Netflix? Especially with Netflix. Let's be honest here. Doesn't really have that much good content. Netflix is losing subscribers, and now you're gonna fucking subscribe. Now, why would you subscribe for just one stupid show that sucked for years? What sense does that make? Need to drink this magnificently, because it keeps me going, you know? God, aspire to make some bitches go, oh shit. Who, really, you know how bitches be like, yo, Netflix and chill. Who bitch is gonna be like, Netflix and chill watch WWE? when WWE has sucked for years. You may get maybe a little bit of some people, oh, like Monday Night Raw, what is this? Or they haven't watched Raw for years. They click it and they're watching shit that looks gay or looks like, that doesn't look like cool wrestling that as it used to be, like guys like The Rock and Stone Cold from back in the day. Heck, even like the days of Cena and Orton. I hate to go back to that, but like at least that resembled more wrestling than this shit, than this indie boring tripe. But that's the thing, they're gonna cater more to indie fans because they don't need to cater to casuals or wrestling fans who are like old school, you know? But that's also the thing. But like seriously, but yeah, inflation prices. Netflix increased their prices. And it's expensive now. It's not just expensive. It's just like, come on. Especially when everything is expensive now with their fucking streaming sites and what everything is expensive. That includes fucking streaming sites. What? And Netflix has been losing subscribers. So what sense does it make? And it's going to lead to more people subscribing when literally people kind of only watch Raw as a staple for Monday nights. And especially on cable TV, and they somewhat have cable. Why would they like, okay, you know, oh man, I'm losing my Raw, I gotta fucking subscribe to Netflix. It's like, who cares? Like, really, in the end of the day, honestly, this is gonna hurt this company even more. Sure, they're you know, it's business. WWE's gonna make more money. They're probably getting paid a lot of money from Netflix. I get that. That's the only way it's good for it. Business. And WWE's gonna be doing good for business. Good, sure, good for them. But it's going to bite them in the fucking behind. Because eventually, their shows are going to affect their business. That's why. And you notice why they've been focusing on trying to find homes for these shows? Why? Because freaking, you know, they realize that losing a channel affects their money. So, maybe that's how WWE will learn to start improving their shows. But that's not going to happen for until like a long time. Because you have to admit they're still doing good as a business, as a brand. But they're living off of what was good about wrestling. They're living off of the Attitude Era. They're living off the 80s, the 90s. They're not living off of today, because today's wrestling is shit. But that goes to show how sad the state of wrestling is now. It is sad, man. It's also sad as a person who used to, I used to be such a big fan. I mean, I am, of course. I cover wrestling on my channel. I am a wrestling fan. But it's sad as a wrestling fan that I'm not enjoying these shows because they're so bad. They're bad. Oh, boy, why are you still watching? Well, I watch to make videos. I watch because I am a fan. But I want the show to get better. You have to criticize it. And it's also kind of like that mentality. It's not just like a drug. Like, you watch it for a long time, you kind of watch it still no matter what. But it's not just that. It's like, you have to understand, like, you not ever get the idea that you're a fan of a team, you're a fan of a sports team, but you want them to get better, but they suck. It's kind of like that, too. You want them to improve. Honestly, now with the show being on Netflix, why would I waste my time really like put my energy to watch the show as I would on TV? Really, why would I now? I mean, sure, I'll still make videos. I'll still make Raw reviews and whatever, but it'll have to depend what they're doing now. Honestly, this will lead to more people now less watching the show. Honestly, this is going to lead to less people watching because not a lot of people have Netflix or streaming sites as people think they do. They don't. People still have cable, if not more. I'm not saying that maybe not more so nowadays that people don't have streaming sites more than cable, but the reality is people again, it's not just they're going to deal with a lot of competition now. If they really think that people are going to go watch Monday Night Raw on Netflix, y'all kidding yourselves. But this is a big problem. This is a problem. Like, you're losing what was a staple on cable TV. And it's like a demotion now. And not just that, it's like there's so many problems. There's so many problems with streaming sites with this shit. And let's not forget, again, streaming, you have to rely on the internet. Not everybody, when you're moving to the internet, first of all, you never know what can happen. There could be people with shit internet, or there will be an outage for God knows what. We're in a time, and this is the problem when we're dealing with the internet age. You have to understand, that we are living in a time where still there's potential of outages for internet. That's going to lead to a lot of problems. So why would you move to a streaming site? At least when you're moving to cable TV, you'll still have cables. You know, cable TV will still kind of work more so than internet. Like, come on here. Like, what are you doing? I'm sorry. This is. I am not saying that, like, sure, there's been an advance with internet, Wi-Fi shit. You know, that's why they're least likely to have an issue. But there's still potential issues with that. Sure, there are issues with cables, like, for example, if something was to happen with some wiring, with a tree or whatever. Like, for example, with that. But from what I know, especially when like, cable companies or internet companies, they have to do, we have this outages for maintenance. That's what they're going to do. They don't do that for cable. So that's what's going to happen. We're going to have to deal with maintenance issue in the internet. So what does that tell you? There's so many problems now, and it's gonna be more problems, and it's not gonna be as much as good things that WWE thinks this will be, or Netflix itself. And now this is gonna probably lead, if you think about it, this is gonna lead to an increase in price for Netflix with WWE. And that's gonna make people even lose their subscription even more, because let's be honest here, people don't really care about watching WWE as they used to. But that's WWE's fault. Because they fucking kind of drove away the fans they used to have. They drove away the casual people. They drove away fans who used to watch religiously, but they fucking became a stale, boring shit product that started catering to smarky fans and fucking hiring unentertaining wrestlers. Wrestlers who can't entertain for crap! Garbage! Come on here! It's not. I'm sorry. If you think I'm stupid, this is good, then you're fucking delusional. Don't know. You're just biased to like having streaming sites, and you're fucking dumb. You know, maybe because you don't need to spend money because you're living on your mommies and daddies who buy streaming sites for you. Good for you, but reality for people who pay money and who actually fucking know shit, this is not good. Times are actually tough, you dumb fucks. I have cable and I have internet. I help pay for both. Times are tough. It's tough way before. It's not like a few years ago that maybe it'll be a better time to like, okay. But the thing is, again, like, I was still kind of complaining in a sense because, again, Monday Night Raw has been a TV staple. Now, moving to streaming sites, it's going to expose more problems for WWE. And it's not just that. It's going to lead to now WWE becoming more lazy and less fucking interesting. They're not going to need to worry about freaking very much as ratings, or they're not going to be as entertaining, as close to being entertaining as they used to. You think Monday Night Raw is bad now? Watch when it gets to Netflix. It's going to be worse. It's going to be worse. I'm telling ya. At least when you have cable TV, it's competitive and it pushes you to be the best show possible. But I get it. Maybe WWE doesn't care. And good for them. Watch. It's going to affect your business in the future. Watch in a few years. Watch in a few years, ladies and gentlemen. I think I said what I needed to say. I don't want to keep rambling, but I basically rambled the entire fucking video. But again, I already talked about problems. It sucks that, again, as a cable TV show that's been around for 30 years, and now moving to a streaming site kind of shows how pathetic a show you are, because you're that bad of a show. You're just all about being content creators instead of being a episodic television show. Again, this is more problems for, like, when being on Netflix. You're dealing with these inflation prices. You're dealing with fucking now potential people not going to be watching as they used to. This won't increase the viewers. This won't. Okay? You're going to lose viewers. You're going to probably still remain the same, but maybe even a bit less, honestly. Okay? And last but not least, a conflict of interest. You're going to now deal with an issue where now being on Netflix, and it's going to affect your issues with Peacock. Like, wanting to make sense of being on Peacock? Like, whatever. I don't get it. I mean, I don't like Peacock, but, like, you have the pay-per-views there. What sense does this make? Like, why? And not just that, like, This might even lead to some issues with fucking SmackDown and NXT, like with that, since they're on cable. But how does that make any sense? You'll have those shows be on cable, but you'll have one show on Netflix, and that was the longest show. Won't it make sense? Why not even NXT? NXT doesn't get ratings, but you're gonna put it on a fucking antenna show. Why not Raw, or at least Raw on CW or SmackDown to CW? SmackDown was on the CW before, and Raw's still on the USA Network. What are you doing? I know I'm sounding like a fucking angry, but I mean, first of all, it's a rant. A key to a rant is ranting, you dumb fucks. But seriously, it's sad. All of this is sad. There's more problems than being good. There's more cons than pros, people. I get it. The only people are gonna be happy about this is people who don't have cable, whatever. They have streaming sites, but most likely. A normal person, a lot of people don't really have streaming sites. Let's be honest, they don't. They still have cable, and let's be honest, even if you have a stream site, which I do, I have Netflix. I do. It's not a problem. I have both Netflix and Peacock and Disney, whatever. But the reality is, you think people are gonna go out of their way really to fucking just put on? Usually, people would put on their cable TV. They're not going to go out of their way to fucking turn on their Netflix where they have to fucking turn on the internet, turn on this and that, and then fucking all get it, we have to fucking put it on. As opposed to a cable TV. I'm talking as what a normal person would do. You'll turn on, at least when you turn on your cable TV, you just turn on the remote, change the channel. Simple. Yeah, there's more steps to that. I mean, does it sound like being lazy? Yeah, but let's be honest, a lot of people in America are lazy, so what does that tell you? There's a lot of problems, people. A lot of problems. And watch it happen until So yeah, January 2025, Monday Night Raw will no longer be cable TV, unfortunately. And that's just sad. That's just sad. It's sad. I would rather it be on still on cable TV. It doesn't need to be on USA Network. Could have been on FX as rumored or something like that. Some people are saying it was like going to be on TNT and whatever. I didn't think that was going to happen because with AEW and shit, you never know. But I guess with Monday Night Raw, you don't need to worry about football. You don't need to worry about freaking, championship games. But watch. Now people are going to now people are going to watch less. They're going to watch more of that now. So you think you really won? You didn't. Sure, money, but that's going to bite you in the dust in the future. Alright. But that's what happens when you're not a great wrestling show. And watch WWE be less popular than it did. Honestly, let's be honest, sir. Think of, again, Power Rangers. This sounds weird. I understand. Really, why am I talking about Power Rangers? But Power Rangers, if you think about it, has gotten less popular over the years because no longer being entertaining or cool or something that for little kids to even enjoy. Watch it happen for WWE even more. They're going to be less popular. And honestly, I think a lot of shows have gotten less popular when they move to a streaming site. That's the reality. The beauty of cable TV, you get promotion, at least to people know what you're talking about. And at least there'll be commercials for that, Sure, not all hope is lost. There's still SmackDown. There's still NXT, even though, why is NXT, really, who cares? But, Monday Night Raw, a show that's been their longest show is moving to Netflix, and no one's gonna fucking care about that. I don't know. I've been rambling. I think I already said what I need to say. I'm not a fan of the idea of moving to streaming sites. Not a lot of people really do have. If you think you do, if people think they do, they don't. They don't have a lot of streaming sites. It's not true. But again, there's more problems. Come on, Netflix. To me, to be honest with you, Netflix kind of sucks now. Okay, so why would people really want to get Netflix again or stay on Netflix, especially with increasing prices? Come on, that's just no, thank you. $22 now, by the way. And what? Now you're going to watch Expend more, and you're going to really want to spend for that when it's close to cable prices? I don't think so. Especially we're going to compete with other prices for other fucking streaming sites. You're going to spend as much as you spend for cable, for fuck's sakes. That's too much. Whatever. That's all I'm done, guys. I'm just keep it real. Get your games closed. My missing spy, missing bitches go, oh shit. They're not going to... Bitches going to not be wanting Netflix and chill for Monday Night Raw. That's what I got to tell you. Because they're going to be this is what Monday Night Raw is like now? I'm leaving you. Fuck you. The relationship is over. That's how they're gonna fucking be. Until next time. Peace. Yeah, bye. Fuck Netflix nowadays, too. And again, did they not learned that Netflix had cuties? So yeah, let's fucking cater. Let's have that when you're gonna fucking have shit like cuties on your network. And people unsubscribe because you cater to pedophiles. Yeah, very good. Fuck you. Fucking shit like that's what make people unsubscribe, for fuck's sakes.